We are just on the rise of September, and it seems like this entire second half of the season has been nothing but constant speculation and outpouring reports about where top free agent Juan Soto will be landing this offseason. And this recent report kind of puts the nail in the coffin that the Mets will be the Yankees' number one competitor for the top free agent outfielder. I'm going to break down to you guys everything that is being reported right now out of MLB insiders, plus other options that the Mets could be looking at when it comes to this upcoming free agent class. We'll take a quick dive into all of that. What is going on, everybody? Welcome as you are locked into this new edition of Mets Digest with your host, of course, Michael DeAngelo. As you see on the screen, hope everyone is, like I said last video, keeping their marbles together. The Mets just took game one against the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are right back at it, sooner or later, to play game two of the series. They got to take as many of these games as they can get, as they are still around 3 games back from the MLB wild card, the third spot specifically. And the Arizona Diamondbacks are the top spot in the NL wild card, so they need all of these games that they can get. These are must-win games if they are going to want to sniff any sort of chance at a playoff spot this year. But nevertheless, I will get started here. Everybody has been talking about Juan Soto and where he will be going this offseason. It has just been a constant back and forth between the two teams that you probably can guess right now, the Yankees and the Mets. And it seems like now that the Mets will be coming at Juan Soto with the top dollar offer for his free agency. Sorry, I don't know why I just glitched like that. Yeah, I mean, Juan Soto is a generational bat, as we all know. He is specifically a 25-year-old free agent. We have not seen a free agent superstar this young coming into the class in a while. So that is a big driving force to why his contract is going to be so high money-wise. I know Flobo covered in last video from Passan reporting that the floor for a Juan Soto deal will be $500 million. And that is pretty much the starting bid is what it's looking like right now, which is absolutely ridiculous. And we will get into more stuff that Jeff Passan has wrote today. I'm sorry, this was about a day and a half ago. He thinks it'll go higher than that, though. And when it does, that number will frighten away a vast majority of the team. Some that can't afford it. Many will choose not to. This is a history of free agency. There are ultimately, at most, a handful of spenders for the biggest free agents. In Soto's case, the Boston Red Sox, Chicago Cubs, and both LA teams could likely afford him. Sorry, I don't know why the A's not there. And are long shots to make a real push. Seattle could use him, but they will be scared off by any sort of money. And at the end of the day, high-ranking front office and ownership level sources believe the winter for Soto is going to play out with Yankees versus Mets. And that is all you really need to know. Steve Cohen is ready to spend big on his top free agent of his entirety of owning an MLB franchise, and it is Mr. Juan Soto. What will this number raise up to? We have no idea. This is a new frontier when it comes to an MLB contract and an MLB free agent. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani broke the record last year with most of that money being deferred. Could we see a deal like that here with money being deferred? I don't know. Because it is a lot for a team to handle in their payroll when it comes to a $600 million contract, possibly. Like, that is so ridiculous to think of. And the fact that a guy like this is going to be getting that is crazy. But, I mean, hey, he deserves it. He is the best bat, like, pretty much besides Aaron Judge, is the best bat in the league to have right now. He's flat out the best hitter. He leads his league in walks drawn, and he strikes out the least out of anyone in amongst his class of hitting. And the Mets are going to be ready to open up their wallets for a guy like this. They have a lot of impending free agents coming, like we've said in previous videos. Sean Manaea, Jose Quintana, Luis Severino. Got to remember the hitters too. JD Martinez is a free agent. Pete Alonso is a free agent who is still struggling at the plate and can't really get it together. So it's going to be a pretty shiesty offseason for Pete Alonso. We have no idea what his market is looking like right now. We have no idea what his numbers are looking like right now when it comes to his upcoming contract. Could he be getting a prove it deal possibly? Maybe 1 or 2 years, one with an opt out. Who knows? I mean, that could be a route that he could take this offseason. I know Scott Boras would not be too happy about that, as he is Pete Alonso's current agent. And he is obviously going to want the home run, past $300 million deal, 10 years, 12 years for Mr. Alonso. And with the way he's been struggling this season, he may need a prove it deal for him in this offseason, kind of like what Cody Bellinger got with the Chicago Cubs. And the Mets, the scary part is the Mets could be totally in on something like that, considering that they are going to have to give this guy a $600 million, probably a past $550 million contract for Juan Soto. But just think about a team that they could assemble if they were able to somehow pull off two superstar free agents in this offseason and are able to pair them with Francisco Lindor, who we all know is playing like an MVP this year. It could be a possibility that both New York teams are going to have AL and NL MVP this year. That would be so awesome to see, between Aaron Judge and Francisco Lindor sharing the award. But hey, I mean, should Lindor win it? At this point, I think so. You don't give it to a DH. I'm sorry. And with, Lindor playing on both sides of the ball, and I still see him commit some errors. And even with that, his Fangraphs WAR is still higher than any other player in the National League. So if that doesn't explain to you the type of effect that he's having on this team right now, I mean, so be it. I mean, team results does not matter in a situation like this. We've seen guys who don't even make the playoffs win the MVP award, like especially Mike Trout. And this could be a situation here with Francisco Lindor if he keeps his efforts up like this. But moving on back to Juan Soto, what it's looking like for the Mets. And, if you want to afford a guy like this, Steve Cohen's, hold on, let me turn it back here real quick. Sorry, I left that way too soon. But, his net worth of last year reported by Forbes was around $20 billion. And with the market still accelerating past that, it could be higher than that right now. So he's pretty much doing fine financially. Of course, with this big opened up payroll, with the amount of roster spots that are impending free agents this offseason, this could line up to be all I don't even know what the word is. Full steam ahead. Let's just go with that. Full steam ahead for Steve Cohen to go after, like I said before, his best free agent that he has seen in his entirety of owning this MLB franchise so far. But could this cause for guys to get dumped on the current team right now because of the cost of him being so high? Some nominees, Starling Marte being one. He's up there in age. He only has a couple years left on his deal. 35 years old. We haven't seen the bat production we've seen it dip a little bit compared to the last couple of seasons. But I mean, of course, that's gonna come with aging. And if Steve can afford Juan Soto, I think he can afford to dump Starling Marte's contract. I mean, with this, especially with the guys down in AAA, especially the outfielders like Drew Gilbert and Ryan Clifford and Luis Angel Acuna, who's been playing a lot in center field. Guys like that who are waiting for their chances up in the major leagues. We know David Stearns has been sort of in more on a youth movement. Hence why he signed a lot of veterans this offseason, knowing that, well, what we all thought was going to be a down year. And, so that he can, let the youth develop for one more year before he brings them all up, especially with the pitching staff as well. We know Brandon Sproat, who we've made a video on in the past, possibly being pulled up this year. Will it happen? Will it not? I don't know. There's a lot of right-handers in that bullpen right now. But anyway, another nominee that I would say would get cut in the outfield or just in general would be Jeff McNeil. And that would be a tough bullet to bite, especially since, he struggled really, really harshly at the beginning of this year. And now he has kind of leveled off into an acceptable type of play. We see his OPS plus at 96. That was way lower at the beginning of this year. And, seeing him now kind of produce at like the little bottom spots of the order that Mr. Mendoza puts him down in, it wouldn't be the worst thing. But since he's on such a team-friendly contract, this would be a pretty easy contract to move off. And if he has a strong finish to the season, then, it's an easy move for Mr. Stearns. And to make room for Juan Soto, who needs to see either corner outfield, Jeff McNeil plays a lot of right field, so does Starling Marte. We see Brandon Nimmo seeing a lot of time in left field, or seeing most of his time in left field this year. He might have to move back over to center field, with Harrison Bader being an impending free agent this offseason. So, that might leave room for Soto to play maybe either in left field, or, they can maybe keep Jeff McNeil, put him in left field, and put Juan in right field. It's the Mets have a lot to play around with. They have a lot of toys. They're holding a lot of cards, and it's pretty exciting to see, to say the least. I know a lot of Mets fans kind of are just tired of this anticipation on whether we're going to make the playoffs or not, because we just want to see what is going to happen this offseason and like what the team's going to look like next year. We have a lot of exciting young prospects that the fans are getting excited about. Of course, we have Ronnie Mauricio coming back from a torn Achilles, ACL. I think it was an ACL, and he was super hyped up. He still is, and I think he's ranked now back. I think he's back on the prospect rankings as our number 6 prospect, if I'm not mistaken. So this could be, there is a lot to play here. Besides Juan Soto, the Mets could be opening up their payroll for, of course, a revamp of the pitching staff. We've mentioned many times about the possible free agents that can come with all of with all the guys on 1-year deals, 1-year and 2-year deals, and with all their opt-outs, that could the free agent class for the starting pitchers this year is a pretty good one. You have guys like Corbin Burns coming off of the Baltimore Orioles. Max Fried can try and take him away from the Atlanta Braves. Maybe try and get Luis Severino back. I'm sure he's loving his time here right now. So there's a lot to play with. And the Mets could easily, John Heyman reported this morning as well on his live stream, that they will easily, no doubt, be in play for guys like that this offseason as well. They are looking to make their push, and it is going to be this offseason, and it is something that they've lined up since the beginning of last offseason. Remember, Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer's contracts are finally going to be done. The Mets are going to be paying nothing for them anymore after this season. So all that dead money that they had all that dead money that they've had this season that they've been dealing with is all gone now. So it is going to be full steam ahead for Mr. Cohen's wallet and his hedge funds. And we will see how much he's really willing to spend this offseason. Sorry for shaking the camera. But exciting times. September is here. We have 1 month left of the regular season, and we'll see if we're in October or not. If not, hey, it's Juan Soto time, baby. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about all of this. Do you even like Juan Soto being a possibility for the Mets and paying him this much money? I know there's a lot of haters for him here in Queens. Me personally, I don't necessarily need him, right? We've had our beefs with him in the past as fans, and it is just it's going to be a weird a weird collaboration, to say the least. And watching Pete Alonso walk away possibly with that, along with that, is just going to be pretty bitter, if I'm not gonna lie. It's going to be pretty sad. But hopefully, like I said, maybe a big Juan Soto deal and a nice little prove it deal to run it back with Pete Alonso for another year. And we just have, maybe the highest payroll in baseball this year, or next year possibly. The Dodgers are first. They're around $350 million, with the Mets being slightly under that at around $347 million this year. But we could easily surpass them with a Juan Soto $600 million contract. Who knows? That is all for me here with Mets Digest. Make sure you guys subscribe. Me and Flobo Boys have been top of all of this. Make sure you go watch his depiction on this Juan Soto stuff. He had a great video about it. And if you guys need anything about Mets roster news, trade updates, injuries, rumors, all of that right here, this is your one-stop shop. We are on everything, and we will be right here to make whatever updates or videos, whatever, when things happen. And that is all for me, for Michael DeAngelo, Mets Digest. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night.